I welcome you to another exciting edition of TECHMERCE right here on Flow 94.9 FM. I am Israel Ojoko. Guaranteed Trust Holding Company GTCO has listed on the London Stock Exchange, with the company now targeting a minimum dividend yield of 15% and a return on equity of at least 25%. The transition from global depository receipt to a full London Stock Exchange share listing is more than just optics, but a strategic recalibration aimed at unlocking access to global capital and attracting long-term institutional investors. With trading that began on Wednesday, GTCO says its entire issued share capital, totaling 36.425 billion shares, has been admitted under the equity share category for international commercial companies secondary listing. CEO of GTCO Segun Agbaje explains the reason for the London Stock Exchange listing and what it means for the company and its shareholders.
We have to unlock Nigeria, we have to unlock Africa. And so we had, in my opinion, it was time to test whether the macro story of Nigeria had changed or whether you could go out and raise money in the international market. And really, that's it. And it's always nice to have options. So if you ever need capital, do you want to raise it outside of Nigeria? Do you want to raise it in Nigeria? So if you have growth plans, you're giving yourself more options. And I'm sure you all know that we all had to meet 500 billion and debt was not an option anyway. So we had to raise capital. Of how we raise capital in Nigeria is quite elongated. And so, one, we realized that you couldn't bring in internationals in any great number into that structure. But we are a Nigerian institution with over 50% retail base. So we didn't want to dilute that retail base and not give them a chance to do the capital raise. So we decided that we were going to do our first phase to that retail base, raise as much capital as we could from them, and then the delta we would raise internationally. So we did the best we could, and we raised 209 billion. It gave us a delta of 150 billion to get to the 500 billion. And so we started the journey. Really, immediately we finished that transaction to do this.
The Petroleum Industry Act, PIA, has been described as a law that is outdated on arrival. The Petroleum Industry Act, a comprehensive law in Nigeria that aims to restructure and transform the oil and gas industry, was signed into law in August 2021, but has been in development for over a decade before becoming a law. It provides a new legal, governance, regulatory, and fiscal framework for the sector. Speaking at the 13th Annual Business Day CEO Forum in Lagos, Chief Executive Officer of Renaissance Africa Energy Company, Tony Atta, says though the regulatory environment has improved, the PIA did not take cognizance of digitalization and technology like AI.
Our Act doesn't recognize AI, and today as we are sitting here, you can't survive without AI. That act is a bit outdated on arrival. So for me, the revision of that act is the first thing. But in terms of regulatory support, you need to enable the industry. One of the biggest challenges we all face today is not the production, but is how to get the production to point of sale. And that is production versus point of sale is something in between we call pipeline. And that is all about security. Today, the regulators need to do a better job of defining what it takes to secure our pipelines and ensure that whatever we produce can get to points of sale and become value for our country, Nigeria, way ahead of the companies.
Also speaking, MD CEO of Aradel Holdings PLC, Bitel Falade, speaks about the greatest challenge the Nigerian oil and gas industry is facing today and the solution to address it.
Shortage of manpower. Today, if we don't take care, people like us who are sitting there will struggle to retire. Because when we look back, we don't see the funnel. And one key area of collaboration is us coming back to fund and sponsor training institutions that continue to produce the talent for the future, that continue to invest in R&D in partnership with universities, whose outcomes will benefit the entire industry. So there are quite a lot of areas where we can leverage.